here today. We got a bunch of you on already. Very excited about that. Welcome to Fed Up Talk and Treats. So this is what we're doing every second and every fourth Wednesday of the month. I'm over here because it's like I'm trying to do 10 things at once. And anyway, we're doing today is the Talk and Treats show. And the treats every other week is going to be some kind of sweet, beautiful, delicious dessert. Okay, so today it is crescent cheese Danish. I want to show you what they look like because I've already done a batch. Okay, and I'm going to put one together really, really quick, and then we're going to go to the table and I'm going to do some talking. Today's topic is kitchen suggestions and tips, and I've got a whole bunch for you. And of course I've got my family here who are going to give you even more suggestions and tips, because I'll tell you what, when you're in the kitchen, any help counts, right? Anything you can find out that's new and that's better or might work differently, whatever, we're going to talk about that today. But let's make some Danish. Okay, in my little bowl right here, I've got 1 8-ounce cube of cream cheese. I want to make sure I get the correct measurements for you. I've got, let's see, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. I've got a half a cup of white sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla. That's all I'm doing with this. Mixing it together. Now, because I made a batch earlier, guys, I had some cream cheese left over. You know I'm not wasting that, right? We're going to have very cheesy Danish. I hope everybody's doing well out there on this beautiful, freezing, lovely, white day. It's beautiful. It's all white outside. We've had a gorgeous snow. We woke up to the whole countryside looking different and beautiful. And I don't know about you guys. I mean, I know people don't like to walk in snow and drive in snow, but it's so beautiful to look at. So we got to take it for what it is, one of God's beautiful nature things, and it's absolutely gorgeous outside. Okay, that's it. That's the filling right there. How easy, boom, was that? All right, crescent rolls. Look, little tube, little tube of crescent rolls. So what you're going to do with this is normally with crescent rolls, you're going to break them into the 8 little crescents that you'll get. Not today. Okay, let me show you what we're going to do. Chris, can you see me in here?
I'm going to swing around this side so that I'm not in the middle of your camera shot from the computer back there.
Okay, so what I'm going to do here, it fell apart. It fell in half, which is okay, because before what I did was I had the whole thing came out in one piece, and I'll show you what I did. But this time, it's going to be in 2 pieces, which is perfectly okay. No problem. Here we go. I'm going to put them side by side. And this is so easy. By the way, guys, put your oven on 350. Okay? And these take, probably about 16, 17 minutes. So make sure your oven is preheated. Don't ever bake with a not preheated oven. It'll cause a lot of, it won't cook. It just won't cook right. So, okay, guys, you're not cooperating with, there we go. Look at that. Okay, so let me get the crescents put together here, because it really doesn't matter what they look like right now, because we're going to use the rolling pin and we're going to make it one big giant sheet. Just like this. Oh, you know what I'm going to do, guys? I did take flour here, and I'm going to flour my rolling pin.
So Kristen Berry just joined us. She
Hello.
said hello from Westerly, Rhode Island. Thank you for my mug, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome, Kristen, and thank you for being here. How's Rhode Island? I think you guys are pretty darn cold too, aren't you? I think I've seen Mary Halsey talk about the weather over there and showed the beautiful snow also. It's hard to believe, but Arizona, like southern Arizona, where we're from, is getting snow. It's like, what? That is unheard of. We lived there for over 40 years. I think I remember twice, like a couple of snow flurries, but that's it. Okay, guys, do you see what I'm doing here?
Hey, you got Raydell. She said cold here in Arizona, but
Yes.
only had rain.
Oh,
And then-
yes, and you had hail the other day, too. Hail.
Yeah.
Come on now. Snow and hail in Arizona. That's crazy. Okay. So now, let me show you guys. All I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into 8 squares. Is everybody seeing what I'm doing here?
You got Brandy Burton on. What's up, Brandy?
Hello, Brandy.
Brandy.
How are ya? Okay, I already have my sheet pan with parchment paper. Parchment is a lifesaver when you're baking stuff like this, okay? And then I'm just going to crinkle up the edges. Can you see that, Chris? Am I in your way? Okay, that's it, guys. Look, just crinkling it up. I'm going to make 8 little Danish, okay? Don't forget that when you're don't separate the croissants, okay? You're going to use it as one sheet, okay? And you're just crinkling up. Okay, you're crinkling up the edges. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing. Anyway, on Talkin' Treats, every other week, the 2nd and the 4th Wednesday of the month, we're going to be doing a dessert. So on our regular Fed Up show, which is the 1st and the 3rd, I cook my regular meal, and I won't do the dessert. The dessert will be on the 2nd and the 4th, okay? We're just trying something new, and the thing is that a lot of times last season, we had a lot of people asking questions. How do I do this? What happens if? And so that's why we're doing this show, to answer a lot of questions and to just talk about things that make, my life is kind of crazy with my disease. So anything that helps me in the kitchen and to do things faster is a great help to me. And there have been people out there who have, suggested this and that. And so it has helped. And so that's what this kind of show is all about. Let's talk about things we can do in the kitchen to help us out. Hey, you can hear my little grandson in the background. Where's Nicholas? Come here, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
They have a snow day today. The kids have a snow day. Hi. Say hi to everybody out there. Hi, everybody. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. So Nicholas is doing so well. I'm so proud of my little guy there. Where's Shawnee? Where's Bailey? Where's Ben? Where's all the kids? They're around here somewhere. Sebastian's going to be on the panel today.
There's Sean.
Because Sebastian has a huge interest in food, so Sebastian's going to be at the table with us. Okay, there's that. I'm going to throw this away. There's Shawnee with his tablet. Sean doesn't go too many places without his tablet.
Look at that, bud.
Okay.
Here's the American flag that I'm working on.
Oh,
beautiful.
I
I
love
love it.
an American flag. Okay, guys, earlier I made a little bit of it, it's kind of like a paste, but I wanted a little bit looser, and it's cold today, so it kind of hardened up. So what do you do with that? Well, you stick it in the microwave for about 10 seconds. That's what you do with that.
Josh Sears is on. He said
Hello,
hello, everybody.
Josh. How are
From
you?
Chile, Arizona. Miss you all.
We miss you too, Josh. I'm looking at folks up there too. Hello, I don't know who's out there, but we're glad you're all here today to do my cooking show, my talk show today. Okay, here's what I've gotten here. 2 tablespoons of butter and 1/4 of packed brown sugar, okay? And look how beautiful that is. I think I could drink that because I love brown sugar that much. By the way, trivia, do you know what brown sugar is? Anybody out there know what brown sugar, what makes sugar brown? Does anybody know that? There's a good question for everybody. Okay, so what I'm doing is I am coating my little pastries here, my little croissant or crescent pastries, with this little concoction of butter and brown sugar. Now, guys and girls, if you're counting calories, you probably don't want one of these, okay?
Okay, so Donna Dielroundy says molasses.
Molasses, that's it. That's the difference. It's molasses. And the more molasses, the darker the sugar gets. So that's why there's light brown sugar and there's dark brown sugar. It's just molasses in there. That easy. It's that easy. There's really no mystery to that. Okay, so I am going to put some of my, oh, it's right here. I knew I had that right here somewhere. Okay, so I'm putting a big dollop, a big one, in the center. We don't want to lose you, guy. In the center of my Danish. Okay? Look at this. If you could, I mean, honest to goodness, these aren't even cooked yet, but the smell is just delicious. It's already filling my kitchen with amazing smell.
Yes, it is.
Now, my daughter Elizabeth, who you'll see at the table here in a minute, has recently had a lot of trouble with diabetes. And so
Emily
said-
said she's on her way.
oh, wow. My goodness. Okay, that's great. Emily's on her way. Emily is home because she has, you know, guys, she has ulcerative colitis. She's got very severe ulcerative colitis. And she had an infusion, so I didn't think she was coming today, but she's coming. Very good. Okay, anyway, Elizabeth's diabetic, and her sugar has spiked like crazy lately. So I didn't want her to come to the house and feel bad. See, look at that, guys. It's going to the other way now.
Beautiful. I'd eat it just
I didn't want her, yeah, no kidding. I didn't want her to feel bad with us having delicious cheese Danish, so I made her a diabetic dessert, and I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Thank you very much.
Let's get these in the oven. Okay, we're gonna cook these. I'm gonna put them in about 18 minutes. The first batch I did, I had 16, but then I added a couple, so 18 minutes. This is what they're gonna look like. Save the rest of the cream cheese. You can do something with it. Don't throw that away. I could even use it on like a rice cake and spread some of that. Ooh, okay. Anyway, you guys are welcome to these now.
Well, you better give me one.
Okay.
All right.
Which one's diabetic?
I'm gonna
I
serve.
don't want that one.
I'm gonna serve up my cheese Danish, and guys, we're gonna go to the table now, and we're gonna start talking. We're gonna start talking to everybody. And today's subject, like I said, I already have it. I did! What did you say?
She did.
I said I knew there was one missing, and this is for you.
Well, thank you.
We didn't get the show agenda.
All right, guys, come on over to the table.
All right, I'm going to kind of set this. You're going to see me moving around by the cameras here because I got to move these computers
And
about
I
here.
appreciate the non.
Oh, I didn't get you one. I'm gonna get it for you.
That's how we're looking.
Okay, I made it for you, but you can't eat it.
I made it.
Not allowed to. Actually, I have to tell you.
You don't get anything.
I have to tell you. These. Let me tell you what's in the diabetic cookies. And if somebody out there who does diabetic cooking can help, there we go. Suggestions and tips.
Yes, suggestions and tips for diabetes too would be.
All this is 2 cups of oatmeal, 3 mashed bananas, a 1/3 cup of applesauce, not sweetened, natural applesauce, raisins, what else? Like I put a drop of vanilla. I think that was it. And there's something else. There's
There's
one
no
more
bacon?
ingredient. No, they bake. No, I had
Oh,
the
they
bacon. But they are very gummy. Like when Chris first tasted one earlier, he said the taste is delicious, but the texture is weird. So here you go.
Thank you.
Have some weird textured, delicious cookies. Okay, everybody. So fed up, talk, and treat. So I want everybody. We're going to go around the table. And we're going to tell everybody to tell you who they are. Now, you've seen everybody on the show, but we've never done this before. So I'd like to go around the table. And what I'd like to do also is, I think we're all on there, Chris. What I'd like to do also is you guys just tell them a little bit about your, cooking or your experience in the kitchen. Just a little bit. I am putting them completely on the spot.
This is like not rehearsed at
Okay,
all.
it's not rehearsed at all.
So if we fumble,
Okay, I want to make sure everybody's in the camera. Sebastian is not in that camera. Mom, there you go.
Oh God, that's a love.
Ah! All right, we're going to start with who, Mom?
The Q-tip at the end.
The Q-tip at the end, she said.
I'm not far behind you.
I'm getting there myself.
You and Tommy, my brother
Man.
Tommy, you kind of grade early, very early. Me, I grade not as early as they did, but
Well, you cheat.
But I get help.
You cheat.
But I get help.
I used to.
You don't, that's okay. I mean, it's okay. All right, Mom, so tell us about you.
Hi,
Get a little something myself.
I'm the oldest one in the room,
Only by 19 years.
and I love to cook. I still cook. I enjoy very much. I'm the mother, the grandmother, and the great grandmother here.
Many times over, by the way.
Many times
Lots of
over.
times over.
But I still, what did I say?
Where did you learn to cook?
I learned to cook really with my mother and my grandmother.
Because they were all great cooks.
Oh,
Everybody
they
in the
were wonderful
family, yeah,
cooks.
was
Yeah.
were great cooks. 'Cause I
So
remember that.
I learned to cook from the family, and I love cooking, so I went on to have a restaurant and worked at the prison and was a supervisor there. I cooked for 1,000 inmates, 3
Yep,
times a
2
day.
years. How many years did you do that, Mom? 20 years.
Yeah,
You fed a lot of inmates.
I taught a lot of inmates, had a lot of inmates
meals.
A lot of last
to make lasagna for 1,000.
She did make some of those.
Oh yeah, and that was a chore, but I enjoyed every minute of it. That's it.
Okay,
Ashley.
there you go. All right, Ashley.
Hello, I'm Ashley. I am the youngest of the 3 daughters.
She's
the
the
offspring
baby.
of Christopher and Christine. And here's when I first started to learn how to cook. I was made fun of by this one over here because
I did.
not you.
Well, that one.
over there, because I was like 10 and I was making mac and cheese and I just put everything in the pot together. The cheese packet, the milk, the water, the macaroni.
She did.
And she made fun of me.
You've
And
come a
then
long way, baby.
I've come a long way. And then after that, after I knew my mistake, then I made a lot of garlic noodles, which was, they made fun of me for that. And they were like, oh, what you
That's
make
the only thing you cooked for years.
And
what?
Deviled eggs.
And deviled eggs are what
She's still the holiday deviled egg queen.
for the holidays, I'm the one that always brings the deviled eggs.
Yes.
But I do like a traditional batch, and then I try to do a different batch. But I've been lazy the past couple years. But since I've lived in Missouri and kind of lived on my own, I have enjoyed learning more about cooking, and I have to say that I've gotten much better.
You're very adventurous.
I'm very adventurous.
She does a lot of,
I love like all kinds of food, and so I'm willing to try any plate that you put in front of me, and I love to cook. So.
She did not get the adventurous taste buds, cooking, and all that stuff from me. My cooking is very basic. Go ahead. Thanks, Ash.
Thanks, everything.
Okay.
I enjoy your adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah. You made a cowboy
Cowboy caviar.
caviar.
Wonderful.
Really good.
In
Maybe
fact,
you can do that on the
there's
show one day.
Yeah.
Cheers.
My name is Jen, and I'm Christine's younger sister by 24 years. And
9. By 9 years.
whatever, 24, 9, same.
Now, Mark, on the other hand, by 14 years.
14
That's
years.
okay.
I mean, I've really been cooking, right, like in high school, my first job was a cook at Jack in the Box. And people say that's not cooking. It is.
Cooking.
It is.
You poison a lot of
But you
people.
learn
if
about
don't
food,
know
you
how.
learn
I learned
about
a lot about
things.
food. I was a
when
freshman
you're
in high
young.
school, and I was the main cook there. And I was just a kid. I was like, I think about it now, and I'm like, I should have probably not even been back there. But I was like 14 years old. But of course, got better jobs and cooked my way through college. Really, I did a lot of cooking gigs, and then I got on with Harrah's, which really
Yes.
like boosted my cooking experience.
Yeah.
And Harrah's sent me through a culinary program that they do internally. I trained in a Chinese kitchen in Las Vegas.
I missed that course. That's one cuisine I don't do.
I love cooking
Do
Chinese
not
food.
do that one.
But like the other night, I made Chinese food, and you really have to make it. She didn't
I didn't get wrong any of that either.
She didn't get that either. I posted a picture of it. But you really have to do it in small batches. And then just,
Start one batch.
you know, of course, a lot of people know that I'm a funeral director by trade, but my background is really food.
But you don't do them at the same time.
I don't do them at the same time, generally.
Ew.
I don't do them at
There
the
are
same time.
really very strict health laws. You don't cook it. No, I'm not going there. Okay. Anyway. Yes.
So that's
Very good.
it. Just and I do too. I try to like expand my cooking skills and my knowledge, and I make I make things, sometimes they're great and sometimes they're not great, and I think that's a big thing of cooking is that it's not always gonna turn out great.
The same recipe.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
The
Right.
same recipe
And I
doesn't
think,
turn out the same.
one of the biggest things that I've learned in some of my failures as a cook and becoming a chef is that I'm good at certain things, and other things I can't bake.
Infusion and all. Did you get it? Okay.
Wow,
was
quick.
fast.
Girl's a trooper.
They're normally way longer.
Not this one, the Remicade one. This one's quick.
Oh, it's a different medicine.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jennifer's got a very extensive food back in her own restaurant.
Alicia's with us.
Right?
Yep. Own the restaurant, which, stay tuned.
Yes. As I said, this family's got things happening going on. So. Okay, you guys know about me. I've been cooking forever. I've had to adjust all of my cooking so that everything is fast and easy and delicious. Hello there. And that was out of necessity through the years. And that's really the whole premise of this show, is that everything in my kitchen has to be fast and easy and delicious, because I'm not the only person who has issues being on their feet. And you know, older folks, maybe you're just busy,
Mom.
and you have to get in and out. The kids have 10,000 things going on, and you got to go here, there, and everything. You need fast meals, and that's what I do. Thus, ta-da! My cookbook, of course, has 60 recipes in it. Okay. And every single one of them is fast, easy, and delicious. And so if you don't have a cookbook, you need to get one. But I mean, I actually took probably 25 years ago, I took a culinary course. It was a very, very extensive course. I mean, it was hard. It was by the world-renowned Jacques Pepin. And he had this amazing course, and really, literally, I learned so much about food and, you know, everything there is to know, even the business of food and gourmet cooking and catering, and it was just a very extensive course, and I learned so much about food. I too worked at Harrah's.
We work together, yeah.
And they also have a great kitchen, the one we worked at anyway. And learned a lot about sauces, and you know, they specialize in things, soups and sauces and things like that. And so stuff that I had never made before, I wound up having to make. So, and then we've all owned restaurants and stuff like that. So my food background is extensive, but the knowledge of food and then what you do in the kitchen is a balance. And so everything that I do now has to be fast. But it also, I want it to taste great, and I want it to taste like it's been cooking all day, and so that's what this whole show is about. And as you do all that and you learn all that, you learn a lot of suggestions and tips in the kitchen. So there you go. Elizabeth.
Hey, Armando's watching.
Hello.
What's up, Armando? Hope you're doing well. Hope your mom's
Only grab a
good.
chair and come over.
Okay, so I am Christine's oldest daughter.
She's very old.
Very old. Very old. Gonna be older in a few months. I mean, I don't have as much, you know, like culinary experience outside of the home as everybody else here. But I mean, I have worked in restaurants. I've worked in family restaurants here and there. I have done some catering back in the day in my early 20s here and there. But I do a lot of cooking and stuff in the kitchen.
You have a big family. You gotta cook every night.
I cook every night for my family. I've got 3 kids, and they're very busy, very busy kids. So it's helpful for me, you know, to.
Elizabeth is the one who has the two children who are autistic. So she's a very busy mom and has to do things pretty.
And my husband has 2 jobs, so a lot of times I'm doing everything by myself. But so it's helpful to have something, you know, where you can do something very quickly in the kitchen and make sure, you know, your kid's not climbing the shelves or something.
Yeah. Because he does.
Because he does.
But your kids are great because they eat everything.
Hello, Michelle.
We
How
do
are
a
you,
lot
dear?
of different kinds of foods and stuff. We've introduced a lot of foods to the kids, so they're
Wish you guys
eat
do.
a lot
And
of
they
different
eat
kinds of
good.
things.
Your kids
Yeah.
eat
Oh, yeah,
veggies.
that's one thing
Like
about
your kids.
birds.
A lot of vegetables
Our
and
children,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, they eat anything you put in front of them, which is
They're very good eaters, and that makes it a lot easier for me too to like put stuff on the table. Like, I mean, I just introduced them to quinoa last week, and they all ate it. And if anybody knows anything about autistic children, their window of foods that they'll eat is very small, and they all ate quinoa. So that was kind of like, that was a huge accomplishment, you know, for us, and that was just one more thing that we could put on the table. I was kind of shocked.
Sherry, is it still jerking? Is it still doing something funky?
What? It's funky.
Let us know if the screen is still doing something, guys.
And while we're there talking about that, I'm just curious if anyone has tried the link to get into the Google Meet.
And if not,
to be
this
with
is
us
working
live. I'm
just
just curious
fine.
if you've tried and had trouble with that, so I know as we go forward what works and what doesn't, because we're gonna make all this come together.
Yes.
And this is actually really good.
Is it? Does it taste like a rubber ball?
No, I mean, it's
Here,
weird.
try. Okay, Sebastian, you're
It is a
next.
little bit of a different texture.
Are you done?
Yeah, I
Well,
don't
that's
know what
Elizabeth.
to say.
Sebastian? Well, you love
Talk
to
about
cook.
the pizza.
Is he on the screen? Because I don't see Sebastian up there. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
right there.
On one side, I don't know why we
Sebastian,
have
yeah,
two
because he's,
screens.
look, he's on here. Okay, so
Yeah,
go ahead,
there he is.
Sebastian. This is my nephew. This is Jennifer's son,
Beautiful.
Sebastian. And Sebastian's been on the show. You've seen him several times on the show. And so tell us about what you like to do in the kitchen. You've done a lot of cooking. We even gave you a whole bunch of stuff for
He can
what?
make
Your
the best
birthday.
pizza. Yeah.
We gave him
For
stuff.
his birthday, he got a bunch of baking things, and he's been experimenting
Emily, come
at
over.
home.
He's had a, I mean, I haven't been here each show or whatever, but he's had a major interest in learning about cooking and doing it, and that's why he
Talk
got
to
so
them.
much of it for his birthday.
Say hello.
What's been your favorite thing that you've been able to make so far?
Pizza.
Pizza.
He's a
Yeah.
pizza
And
guy.
he does really well with it.
He does
His
the
own
crust.
crust.
His own
Maybe I was gonna
crust.
say maybe you can be one of those guys,
Thank you.
you know, flipping the pizza in the air.
He makes his own crust.
He makes his own
Crust,
crust.
He really does.
Yeah, make your
He
own
makes
crust.
How do you make your crust?
With just flour, water, and oil.
Flour, water, and oil.
That's pretty much, yeah, that's good. And
it's
you make, he
really
makes
good.
it more like a flat bread as opposed to, in pizzerias and stuff where the dough, it's a yeast dough. And the yeast, of course,
It's
rises.
really good.
But
It's
he makes
amazing.
more of a flat.
And he uses, I know a lot of times, like the last time I had to buy the self-rising flour for him. And he liked that, the way it came out, and it's, I mean, it's good. It's,
It looks good.
It's very good.
what I like about
Very
when he
rustic
makes,
looking.
yes, what I like about when he makes his pizza is, he's very detailed, like it has to look a certain way.
Well, that's good.
And he likes before and after pictures.
Most,
Hey, I do that all the time.
most cooks like to, they have like, I know for myself, when I'm making something, I know that what I want it to look like
Yeah.
when it's done. And if it doesn't, even if it tastes great, I kind of go, darn. But, you know, most of the time, I mean, because
You eat
let's
with your
face
eyes.
it, yeah, you do eat with your eyes first. But the thing is, when you're in the kitchen, you're creating. You have a blank slate, and then you just start, and you start creating this meal that people actually have to sit and eat. And you want to hope and pray that it looks good, and especially if it tastes good. All right, Emily, I'm gonna go check the
Salsa
Danish.
just said, AJ makes a mean mac and cheese with everything on it. Love your family, salsa.
Love you, Salsa.
Salsa.
This was back in our college days. Salsa was my roommate, and this was back in when we were in college. I was just like, you know what? We called it the everything pasta because I just, whatever I could find, I put it in.
Marky makes eggs and everything.
That's what you do when you're.
But it was things
Beautiful.
that it shouldn't really ever have been in the same pot together. But it was really good, and he's asked for it ever since. And I couldn't even
Where's
tell
my
you what was
camera
in it.
here?
I just remember, okay, great.
Can we
great,
see this?
Yeah, they're trying
These
to.
are my Danish.
They're delicious too.
Mom made diabetic cookies for me.
It looks beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
We miss you and we love you.
I'm shutting the oven off.
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
Look,
taste-
Emily,
Hi.
mind. All right, Emily. Hello, he's on the Google Meet. Okay, Emily, tell us about your kitchen experience, and then we're going to do the top suggestions that we have.
Well, my kitchen experience is home cooking. That's about it.
No, you've done restaurants with us and catering with us and you bake with us.
Emily's made like cakes for special occasions.
Yeah,
She made my wedding really good.
She made Bailey's birthday cake. And that was
She makes it beautiful. Very
I love you
artistic.
too, Marilyn.
I love baking, and I especially love to cook. I think I've transitioned more to the love of cooking more than baking.
Really?
Yeah.
That's new.
Easier.
Yeah.
That's
I
new.
do. I love baking, and I wish I was better at it. Maybe if I was more knowledgeable of it, I would like it more, but baking is harder.
Baking is a science. Baking is scientific,
Yes.
cooking is not.
And she just said it's harder to bake, and I'm saying, baking is very hard for me because I think recipes are suggestions.
Okay,
Baking is not a suggestion.
Baking is a very precise form of cooking where everything has to be measured or it doesn't, you know, it doesn't come out. So baking and cooking are completely different.
And I
Because if you're a cook, a home cook, you don't take a measuring spoon, you just throw it in, and you can't do that.
Yeah.
No,
That's what I said with baking.
That's what I said,
It's much harder to improvise with form of
That's what I'm saying. Recipes are a suggestion.
Very
So
precise.
anyway, I have just a love for cooking, and I like trying new recipes. Eden and I showed you guys the other night. We tried homemade mozzarella sticks for the first time.
Yeah.
And then Eden had the idea because we had extra batter and stuff left. He was
Oh,
like,
that was terrible. Because I would never even know. It looked great.
It was awful.
well, he said,
Just
he
kidding.
said,
I didn't taste it.
he said, let's try fried pickles. And I said, perfect.
Places sell
I
it.
hate pickles.
Love
I
fried
can say I don't either.
I love pickles.
I love it.
They look great.
Yeah.
They look great. I would never eat it because I can't I don't like anything tangy. I hate that.
I like
flavor.
sweet
My children, on the other hand, did not get my taste buds.
They
They
used
get
to
their
eat
father's
big jars.
taste
Oh,
buds.
yeah.
Yeah.
The little league pickles for the
Oh,
like the
no.
super sour
The first restaurant, the first Incredible Deals barrel pickles were the best.
I wouldn't know because I never tried one because I hate pickles. I don't even like when you open a jar of pickles. I go,
I even have the big sandwich slice pickles.
yeah. No, I just don't like anything that's got that bitter, tangy. I cannot stand that. I can't stand the smell of that. But so that one, you like the sweet. She likes the sweet.
I don't like dill pickles. Michelle just
Michelle, you like fried pickles too? Well, Emily made a good batch of them the other night. And I do know that places sell those.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There are places that
Chili's
sell those.
has fried pickles.
Yeah, I'm not a pickle fan. I don't like anything pickled.
And we're kind of weird because this isn't like this isn't like just a make believe thing. Like every night we all like text each other
Showing the food.
our dinner for the night.
And
it's-
pictures,
And we always
and my phone goes, oh,
She's like,
she's a part of the chat. And so I even thought that the other day.
How about at like midnight, they're still chatting about whatever. I'm
talking
like,
about their
does anybody
videos and
sleep in this family?
salad.
Okay, so Emily, anything else you want to say? That looks pretty delicious. What's that?
Thanks. This is Baconator Fresh.
She did not make that.
she didn't make that.
Wendy's made my.
Okay, so I'm going to go through, since the topic is suggestions, kitchen suggestions and tips, I'm going to start with some of mine. And then I told everybody to bring a couple of suggestions each. Now, while you guys are out there, please, if you have a suggestion that works really well for you in the kitchen or some kind of a tip or whatever, let us know in the feed. We would really appreciate that. So, going back to my cookbook. In the cookbook, what I love about this cookbook is it looks like this little tiny book. But it's got tons of information, not only just my recipes, but it's got tons of information. But on the very first page, or second page, whatever it is, I have right here, okay, I don't know what camera, is this the camera I'm looking at?
All three of them right there will work for you.
Okay, well, whoever wants to see that. It's actually the third page in its top 10 cooking tips by me. And you guys, number one, as clean as you go. I say that, I say that for every single show that I do, because how many people cook and leave a gigantic mess, and then you sit down and you eat this delicious meal, and then you turn around and you look and you see a kitchen that has 10,000 things and flour and this all over the place. That stresses me.
Me too.
So it's my normal practice to clean as you go.
Absolutely.
And I have, because I knew that was going to be your first tip.
Yes, absolutely.
And I have a tip that goes off of that.
Okay.
Because I was reading these. I have a trash bin on my counter when I'm cooking.
Okay.
Because if I don't, I'm gonna leave it until the very end. So in my sink, because the way my kitchen's set up, where I cook here, my sink's right here. So in my sink, I always have an open trash bag. Like a store bag. And as I'm cooking, I'm dumping trash in there. At the end of my cooking, whatever I'm making, I tie up that bag and all my trash is gone.
I do that to some level where if I'm using some kind of a bag or a can or something while I'm cooking, I just leave it there, and if I have other little wrappers or whatever, I just stick it all in like the one thing, so it kind of stays.
Just keeps it organized.
I mean, honest to goodness, maybe it's just me because I'm a little nutty that way, but I don't want to turn around after I've enjoyed my meal and look at it and say, oh my gosh, look what I've got to clean up. I don't want to do that. Is it a couple of little pots and pans or a spoon
And she
or
knows
something?
I'm no help with that.
Well, yes, you are. he's more crazy and stuff like that than
I'm
I
just
am.
very slow. She'll have the kitchen cleaned in 2 minutes.
Okay.
It takes me half an hour.
Well, that's true. Okay, did you have any kitchen tips? Because this I got to hear myself.
Eat everything you can get to.
I knew you were
That's my kitchen tip.
That's a good tip.
I will tell you that Chris, what's nice about him with food is that he's really not picky. And so when I make dinner, or even like when he's working, every day I make him a lunch that would probably feed 5 people. But because he does 12-hour shifts. I mean, let's give him a round of applause. Being a frontline hero in an emergency room. Okay? And so he has 12 hours a day that he's got to work. And so, he munches. And I think this is kind of a typical nurse kind of thing. Where maybe that's just the way to have energy all day. So I make him big meals. But the thing is, he never knows what he's got until he goes to eat and never complains. Now, I don't know, does that mean he likes everything I send him with? I don't
It's
know.
fun. It's like Christmas.
But he's very easy when it comes to that. So thank you. Yes, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I
Kitchen
appreciate
tip,
that.
be easy about what you want.
Yeah, don't complain.
There's my kitchen tip.
Just be open to trying whatever's there. I've been trying to instill this in my daughters. Like, try a bite.
Well, babies are tough.
Babies are tough.
They have their own little taste buds, and some kids, like your kids, have always been the easy. Feed them anything, even Brussels sprouts, which don't ever serve me a Brussels sprout.
Nicholas,
Why?
not only will he eat the Brussels sprouts on his plate, he thinks he's sneaking into the kitchen and gets more off of the bin.
No, I really despise Brussels sprouts. They gag to me, and they love them. I don't know who else loves them here, but to me, they're bitter little balls of yuck.
As I say, I'm not
That's
a
what they are.
big fan, but Emily made some the other day when I was at her place, and I ate a couple.
Now you cook everything in the microwave
When things are
roast them and then put balsamic vinegar and oil over them. I like put a little bit of honey in there.
I did mine with just olive oil and Parmesan cheese. And
I think if you sprinkled Brussels sprouts with gold, I would still gag.
You've not had a good
Well,
Brussels sprout.
You're right. There's no such thing.
so I'll throw out another kitchen kitchen tip. You can fix almost anything with barbecue sauce.
Oh, I was gonna say with bacon.
Bacon,
Okay.
Bacon and
barbecue
barbecue.
Bacon.
Okay, and nothing burps.
How Carol Boyers with this.
Hi, Carol.
Michelle said, I remember when he worked at Casper Hospital.
Yes.
Radel just said, I cook everything in the microwave if I can.
There's nothing wrong with that right now.
That's good.
That's a time saver also.
You can cook anything.
Bacon.
Okay, so
Yeah.
my second suggestion in the kitchen, I've talked about this on my show, is you stir pasta. You boil water, okay? Please don't, I've actually seen this, and don't ever put a pot of cold water on the stove and put the pasta in and hope it cooks right. And I'll explain why you don't ever
Cook, that's
boil.
kind of like somebody saying more better to a grammar teacher.
It is. It hurts. Like it's not going to tell you. It hurts.
Not gonna
Okay,
tell you
and I'm going to
what
tell you
all
why.
6 foot 2
I'm going to tell you why. If you don't boil water for pasta, what happens is when you put that spaghetti or noodles, whatever it is, in that cold water, it immediately starts to break down the starch that is on the pasta. And then you're going to have a pot of glue. Okay? So you boil your water, you put a little salt. Okay? The salt in it does a couple of things. One, it kind of flavors the pasta a little bit. Two, it actually helps speed up the boiling process. Okay? Then you put your pasta in. Now, in the boiling water, you put your pasta and you stir for 1 minute, for 60 seconds, because that whole minute, that first minute, is when the starch really is starting to break up, okay? And if you don't stir the pasta for the first, and I'm talking 60 seconds, okay? It takes that long for the pasta, for the starch to start coming off, okay? Breaking down, I should say. If you don't do that, your pasta's going to stick. I don't care if it's little pasta, big pasta, spaghetti, whatever it is, it's going to stick. That minute of stirring the pasta breaks all of that up. The starches do not have a chance to stick together. The perfect tip. And try it. If you've never done that little technique before, try it. Does everybody do that? I
do
hope.
that now.
Yeah. Okay. Because it works, and I'm telling you, there's a little science there too about the starches and what happens to it. And so do that 60 seconds, and your pasta is never going to stick.
Michelle has a question.
Okay.
I was just going to ask if you put salt in it as well. I also put about a teaspoon of oil.
I do too.
Some people do, some people don't. To me,
I do.
it does coat the pasta, and that's another way to help it not stick. I don't particularly like oil in when I'm cooking spaghetti because I think it keeps it a little oily. That's my opinion.
No,
You know, everybody's got their thing. I don't add oil.
You can't overdo the oil.
I know, it's just gotta be like a drop.
Just a drop, but that little drop goes on.
The drop does help the spaghetti from sticking, but I'm telling you, if you don't want to use oil, I don't. The stirring is what's going to make you not have sticky pasta. Okay? And make sure you're putting it, and I mean this too. Don't put the pasta in when it's sort of bubbling. Okay? It has to be a full boil. A full boil, then put the pasta in, then do your stirring for 1 minute, and then you're gonna have perfect pasta.
And don't be annoying.
Ooh.
And don't be annoying and have your pot on like medium heat.
Oh no.
Are you trying to boil it or are you trying to watch it?
Oh my God.
Grow butter. Like I've seen people do that.
Yeah, it'll
Like
take you
turn
6
that fire
days.
up. You want it to boil.
Does anybody ever use the wooden spoon or rolling pin to keep it from boiling over?
That's a
I've not
very
done that.
good, well, that could be your tip.
That's your tip.
There's your tip.
So, yeah, if everybody
It
probably
works.
knows this, but it works. If you're boiling water and you set like a wooden spoon or I have a wooden rolling pin and you just set it on top of the pot for whatever reason, it won't make your pot boil over.
No, you just set it across the pot.
That's fake.
No, it's not.
That's fake.
I'm gonna try it.
It's gotta be a wooden spoon.
I've never had it.
It's gotta be a wooden spoon. You put it on and it will not boil over.
And it won't boil over.
Oh, that's fake.
So you didn't know that?
Nope.
Wow. That's fake. I'm gonna try it.
So that's why this is so good to put these tips out there, because I heard a phrase the other day I like. Sometimes you have the curse of knowledge. When you know something, sometimes you don't talk about it because you think everybody else knows it.
Everybody knows that.
They don't. So that
We're speaking real good. You wanna shut the mic or is that okay?
no, it's okay. I'm waiting for somebody to come online with us.
Oh, it's okay. We're doing great with this. We got a lot of content.
So used to the
So Carol,
Carol said I did that last night and it works. Okay. It's true. Try it. It will not go over. Now, I don't know the science of that, but there is
I
a
don't know if
science.
the wood just kind of absorbs
I don't
some
know.
of the water.
I don't know, but
You know,
the pot does not boil over.
Well, think about it, because I've done this before. If I'm boiling water and it's starting to get super close to the top, even just stirring it. Oh, sorry. Even just stirring it helps the
Do you know why?
bubbles.
Do you know why?
Because it's popping bubbles.
No. Because when you stir something, you're incorporating the air, which is colder.
Oh, well, there you go. Maybe
That's
what
another
this- maybe
science
that's what
thing.
this
Did you
thing
know
is.
that? When you stir, it just that motion incorporates the air, which is colder than the pot, and it doesn't, and it cools it off just enough that it doesn't boil.
Tamara essentially just joined us.
Hello, Tammy.
Tammy Santilli.
Carolyn said wooden spoon trick works.
I usually do.
Okay, Carolyn does it too with the wooden spoon and it works. So there you go.
I think
Thanks,
maybe because wood absorbs moisture, so maybe that's what it is.
Tammy just said salt lowers the boiling point.
That's true too. Salt lowers the boiling point. That is true. I read that too. Yes, very good, Tammy. Thank you. Okay. Yes, Tammy's a teacher. Yes. Okay. Number 3. If you're going to defrost something, oh my God, I forgot to take my meat out. I got to do it, and I got to defrost it fast.
That's every day.
You take it out and you put it on either an aluminum pan or a stainless steel pan. Why, you ask? Because those metals are heat conductors, okay? So when you put your meat that needs to defrost quicker, put it on an aluminum or a stainless steel pan, which conducts heat, which defrosts things 30% faster.
I didn't know that.
30% faster. That is not. It's a heat conductor. It's a heat conductor.
Try it.
You can look at
Just
and
pull
you know
it
what?
out of your cabinet.
If you pull it out of your cabinet, you know, it's still going to take time, but it's 30% faster. You take out a package of hot dogs get solid, right? So you take it out, instead of just putting it on the counter on a plate or whatever, you put it on an aluminum pan, a flat pan or a cookie sheet or something, and you put it, it's going to defrost much quicker because the metal conducts heat. It attracts.
Take it out of the package.
No.
No,
Nope.
never.
No.
Even when you have, my thing is that I take it out of the freezer, always in the freezer, and I put it in the sink under running water. That's like one of the safest things to do.
That is a way to defrost, yes, to put it under, you do warm water or cold?
Cold water.
Never warm water.
Never warm water.
You have to be careful when you're defrosting anything.
No, it's gotta be
To,
cold
like
water.
especially in the summertime, your house is hotter, please, especially like poultry, don't take it out of the freezer and put it on the counter and then you're gonna cook it at 5 or 6 o'clock at night. There's a lot of bacteria that grows.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? If you're going to defrost, especially like a chicken, I'm going to make chicken soup tomorrow and I need to take chicken out. Take the chicken out the day before and put it in the refrigerator. Now you've brought that temperature down to refrigerator status. Now you can take it out. I put it in a bowl and I keep running water. Now the thing is with that, it's the safest way to go. Now the thing is with that, is you keep dumping the cold water, okay, and then fill it up with water again. Because if you leave it in that water that's just defrosted, you know, the cold chicken, you're defeating the purpose. You have to keep dumping the water, fill up the bowl again.
An easier thing is you put your chicken in a pot, and you let the water run. You don't let it, go fast. You just let it go in, and it falls out.
What I do,
The water falls out, so
Right.
it's keep getting colder.
if I have to use water,
Yes.
I have my package, and I make a hole in the top and make a hole in the
Just let the water
bottom,
go in?
and then I let the water drip, like,
Yes.
in the
That's-
top hole,
that's not
and it comes out the
safety.
bottom hole.
If you read up on safety, I don't know a lot of that
So
stuff.
write that
I
down.
do that, I do that.
Yeah.
Gotta write that down.
What I have to do a lot when and I have to make a correction. I worked 20 years for the state. That way between the training center
Oh, yeah.
and the
right.
prison. I
But
didn't
still
work-
cooking,
Oh, yeah, I did
just
all.
different.
You still, yeah,
But
different
there,
organization, basically.
yeah, one of the,
Gina's watching.
Hi, Gina.
Okay, so Courtney, Lori says you can put Dale seasoning to defrost meat as well. The salt
I love
in the
Dale
Dale's
seasoning.
or
I
soy
love Dale
sauce definitely
seasoning.
helps defrost.
Dale?
To defrost the meat.
D-A-L-E.
Dale seasoning.
It's kind of like a soy sauce, but not. I actually use Dale seasoning. I really like it.
what do you do with it?
I'm going to tell them about the other thing that we learned about yesterday. And Courtney, thank you for that. I didn't know about that, so
Yeah.
there you go. That's a kitchen tip that I didn't know about. But Chick-fil-A, okay, my brother actually owns a Chick-fil-A in Nebraska. Did you know that Chick-fil-A saves pickle juice? Now, I don't know what,
I did know
I mean, they put pickles on their sandwiches or whatever.
Yeah.
So they save the pickle juice, and that's what they marinate their chicken in.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and that, yes, and
Like a grilled chicken or even
the
the
grilled
breaded
chicken, no, the grilled chicken. They marinate it in the pickle juice. Because, they bread it fresh anyway, right? So
Yeah.
they probably
It's bread
do it for
order.
all their
And
chicken.
I worked in that kitchen a lot, and I never saw a thing of pickles.
Yeah, it says Chick-fil-A, and I read up on it, and Tommy, my brother, my sister-in-law, somebody out there can tell us, if you guys use that
Lisa's
method.
probably on, ask her.
But they say that if you marinate chicken in pickle juice, it, remember we were reading about it last night?
It just tenderizes the meat.
It tenderizes, that's the
Oh,
word.
yeah.
It tenderizes
Yeah.
your chicken.
Oh, yeah.
And
And
Courtney
it gives it a
says,
nice flavor.
Courtney says, I knew that about Chick-fil-A, and that's what helps it cook faster.
So, there you go.
Probably the salt.
So,
If you, now for me with, the salt thing, I have to be very, very careful, and I don't like pickles. So,
it
the
doesn't
two
taste
reasons that but it doesn't. I'm sure it doesn't taste like a pickle, it's a brine. It's, what they said is
yes,
the
vinegar
chicken,
breaks it down.
the chicken is in a brine.
Yes,
what they
it's
say.
probably the vinegar.
Yeah.
So,
That makes a
there
lot
you
of
go.
sense.
Okay.
Pickle juice is also good for sore muscles, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah.
To drink it, pickle juice.
My
Yeah.
aunt.
I'd rather have a sore muscle.
It has a high content of magnesium in it, which helps with muscle cracks.
Can you
Well, a
eat
lot of people
real
use
pickle
pickle
chips and it'd be the same?
I don't think it works.
I hate them anyway, so.
Okay, let's move on. So I'm gonna juice an orange, or I need some fresh lemon juice. It's so beneficial to really put your weight into it and roll that fruit, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because the skin on those particular fruits, limes, oranges, and lemons, okay, they're very tough, okay, and the membrane inside is very fat. But if you roll the fruit, it breaks all those membranes, okay? Now, it's easier juicing, and you get more of the juice
So here's
by rolling the fruit.
Yeah.
something I saw yesterday. To add to that, if you put it in a microwave.
In the microwave. Why did you see that? I saw that
I was
yesterday
just
too.
looking for stuff. If you
I
put
did
it in the
too.
microwave for a few seconds before
If
you
you
roll
put
it, you'll get more
the
juice.
fruit for like 10 seconds in the microwave, you get more fruit also. So there you go. But the rolling of the fruit breaks up all those inside membranes, and you're going to get easier juicing and more juice.
So Tammy just said, "Are you sure this isn't a science class?" And
Tammy, all this is that when we're in the kitchen, we've had a lot of people ask questions, what about this and how did you do this? So we decided that the second and the fourth class, it's not really a class. Thank you, Jessica. The second and the fourth week of the show is just going to be kitchen tips, but every week the subject's going to be different.
If we did a class, I would come. You would come, I would come to our class.
I would come.
Because this is, we have
information. We do have a lot of information. Okay, now, I'm gonna cook a recipe, and I'm gonna use molasses, or I'm gonna use agave juice, or I'm gonna use honey, and you know how that is. You put it in your measuring cup, and half of it stays in your measuring cup. Here's what you do. Take some spray oil and spray that cup. Put your sticky whatever in, and it goes, it'll fall right into you don't lose one drop of your sticky stuff.
Spatula, but even then,
Just still lose
But then it's on the spatula.
Spray your spatula.
Right, and then it's on the spatula. So if you just quickly, very lightly spray the measuring cup, it literally comes right out. And you'll get your whole measurement, you'll get your whole half a cup or a cup, okay? There's that one. Okay. Now, I'm gonna say, he's stealing chocolate. Okay, here's one of mine. This should have actually been my number 2 suggestion in the kitchen. Heat your skillet before you do anything, okay? But I will tell you that there's a trick. Okay, so you're gonna make, let's say you're gonna make, I don't know, you're gonna fry chicken cutlets. That's one thing that I definitely use my skillet for, whether it's my electric skillet or my out of the stove skillet. So you heat your pan, electric or otherwise, you heat your pan. Then, when the pan is heated, then when your pan is heated, you put your oil. Now you wait for the oil to heat. But here's the thing. Let's say I'm just going to saute, okay? So I only need a little bit of oil at the bottom of my pan. I'm still going to wait till the pan is heated. I'm going to put my oil. But you need to have those veggies ready to go. Okay? If you're going to do that process and then start chopping, you're going to have a big fire. And who likes a fire?
You're gonna burn your food.
You're gonna burn, everything's gonna burn, so you have to be ready to go. Mise en place. Mise en place, you know what that means? What does it mean? It means everything's in place, ready to go.
I'd say that's why what's the word? Whatever is prep work.
Prep work, that's mise en place.
You're
Mise en place.
Everything in its
This
place.
is what you say,
And
when
everything's
everything's
your
there.
oil's hot.
And bubbles.
Splash some water.
Well, I mean, sometimes I do a little.
Well, it ripples.
Yeah, no, you can tell.
You can tell if your oil's
You
hot.
know,
It ripples.
put your hand not in it.
You can see it.
Put your hand over it, you'll feel. You can see
Watch
ripples.
it.
There's
Watch
ways
your
to
oil
tell.
bubbles.
Sometimes if you're cooking, if you're gonna saute onion, throw one onion in.
Yeah.
You know, one little
When
piece
we
of
were
onion, throw it in.
doing our mozzarella sticks the other night, the recipe that I was reading said, like, you wanted a good 3 inches or so of oil in your pan.
Right, to fry
And-
it.
Yeah, to fry them. And it said if you had like a candy temp, what are those called?
Oh, yeah,
Like
temperature,
thing,
yeah.
to put it in your oil. And I have
Candy
thermometer,
thermometer,
candy
yes, there you go.
thermometer. And I have an electric meat thermometer, so I just tried that and it worked great. And it told me that it said you want to get it to 365 because any lower is going to make it super oily.
Yeah.
It absorbs.
Well, when you put the food in,
Oh.
the temperature drops off right away.
You
So-
cannot cook, you really have to you gotta work with oil, because if it's too cold, like if I'm gonna make a chicken cutlet, okay? And I put my chicken cutlet, nice breaded, I've taken the time to do all of that. Now I put it in oil that's not heated. The first thing that's gonna happen is all my oil, all my breading is gonna be gone and all, like a big patch of glue.
Yeah, gone.
So what you want is that oil nice and hot, so that when you're ready and you put that, remember, mise en place, it's got to be ready to go. Your oil's hot, you put that chicken cutlet in, man, it's just going to start cooking just like it's supposed to.
I
It's going to
have a
cook very
great
quickly.
kitchen tip.
What's that?
Get your kids to help you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why not?
Because
Let's even
Especially-
look. Nobody even looked.
especially with when you're frying and stuff like that, where you're having to watch the temperature. I'm telling you, haven't eaten in the kitchen with me making those the other night.
Right?
I was able to all I did was fry them, and I was able to
And then
temp
you just doing the
everything,
breading and all
make
that
sure
stuff, yeah.
make sure the
Oh,
temp
yeah.
stayed the same, and
Yeah.
I was able to make sure they didn't burn.
Don't
or,
let the kids fry.
No. So, but he did all the, I had all the stations of all the different batter mixes that
Yeah.
he needed.
Right?
he cut the sticks in half, and he went through and did it all, and had a bowl ready for me. And as I did them, he would fill the bowl up more, and
That's great.
it just made it so easy. And I didn't have to stress about my oil just sitting and catching fire, or
Right.
taking it off the burner. And
Yeah.
we were just able to move. So
Make sure too that when you're done frying, not only shut it off, shut the stove, the thing off.
Move it.
Move the pan off. Move the pan, because that is a safety thing in the kitchen. Because especially on an electric, in the skillet or on the electric stove, you know, you turn a gas stove off, the heat stops pretty quick. But with an electric burner, that takes a long time.
Oh, yeah.
That oil is sitting there with nothing going on. That's a fire hazard.
Well,
So take
and-
that pan off of the heat.
And make sure that your handles are always
Always.
turned towards the
Always.
back.
Even when I'm
Because
cooking,
Yes.
I have
Working in
my
the,
hand
yeah,
turned.
working in the ER, I'll tell you. we,
I bet.
we see lots of
Yeah.
And
patients
little
with
kids come in the kitchen and they grab,
kid
God
reaches
forbid,
up
they
and
grab
grabs
that
the pot
handle.
handle.
Be careful. Yeah, I mean, that's boiling water. That's any kitchen, in what you're doing in the kitchen. Just move those handles away.
Kelly is with us.
Hello, Kelly.
Hi,
I'm not
Kelly.
seeing that. Let's see. Come on, come on.
Is there anything I keep about the quarter?
I'm not seeing her.
I'll get your. Get you out. I'll go
Okay.
back. Yeah.
Alrighty, so let's see, I've got a couple more and then we'll let everybody do theirs and then we'll be done. So there we go. Okay, so, I use zipper bags for icing, decorating, and even filling things.
I do too.
Okay, so you get a nice sturdy, gosh almighty, do not use like dollar store, no offense to dollar store, but if you're gonna be piping or anything with a Ziploc bag, get a good Ziploc bag, a nice thick one, because if you use the little really skinny ones, the minute you go, the whole bag breaks.
Not only that, they get
So,
stuck.
yes.
Like, I tried to
Oh,
put
yeah.
sauce
Yes.
in one of those
Oh, yeah,
teepees.
no, oh, no.
I picked it up and
Yeah.
there was a big hole.
Yeah, you really gotta use, in that sense,
Good bags.
you know, hey, listen, I'm a bargain shopper. I like deals, but there are certain things that you just can't buy the generic or whatever you wanna call
Like
it.
ketchup.
Ziplocs are one of those things that, you know, I store, when I have leftover vegetable and that, I put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the refrigerator. So I use it for everything. But when I'm piping, decorating, or if I'm filling a donut or, you know, whatever, cupcakes or whatever, I want a nice thick bag, okay, fill that up, okay, and the easiest way to fill the bag itself is I put it over a cup, okay? I put it over a cup. Now, I'm going to demonstrate that while you guys keep talking about that, or think about another suggestion or whatever. Go ahead.
I was just gonna go. I'm gonna go back to the first number one thing
I
that
am
she
too.
said. Okay. Just because I didn't get a chance to say it, and I think, well, honestly, this was the only thing that I had prepared to talk about.
I have anything. So.
But when it goes right along the lines of clean as you go. Now, one of my least favorite things when I'm cooking,
Same thing. Go ahead.
I'm not, because I can tell you that you do this.
You're under the bus.
No, it's funny. But like even if a little kid just ate like a bowl of cereal or whatever, and they just put the bowl in the sink
With the cereal.
with the
cereal, with the
cereal
milk,
or with the milk, or if you made, like the other day I made pancake batter. And, you know, like the little remnants on the side or whatever, I don't care what's on the stove, it takes 5 seconds to rinse that stuff off, because if you let it sit and it hardly,
And you got little Cheerio stuff that can't get off.
yeah, it's like then you're gonna take 10 minutes trying to get all of it off once it's dry. So, and if it's something that's really, like sometimes, you know, the kids' bowls are in the sink or whatever. I know that's the kid. I don't mean that she does it, she herself.
She doesn't do
Like,
it.
and kids don't really know those things, but
That drives me.
No, but that is
Yeah.
something that I have made them more aware of
Right.
recently, because I
It's
hate.
hard to get off.
yeah, it's hard to get off, and then it stinks. But
And I
then,
usually, like when I'm done cooking something too, I'll run water in it and let it soak while I finish my meal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I do
If
that.
it's real thick stuff that you know it's gonna be a pain in the butt to get off once it's dry, I put some hot water in there and like a drop of soap. Then let it sit, because then as soon as you pour it out, you can just rinse it
Yeah.
and either clean it there or put it in your dishwasher. That was my one thing. That's just a
So,
good clean.
and then I was gonna go back to that real quick too. And I got this tip, and it's the easiest, most common sense tip ever. But from Anthony, from Queer Eye, he's a chef, and I love him.
It's a show.
And one of his tips,
Not a queer guy. Queer eye. It's a show.
anyway, one of his tips in the kitchen is to constantly keep a rag on your shoulder, to reach up and wash,
Yeah.
wipe your hands off while you're cooking.
That's a good
Because
thing.
my hands, and I use a million
A
paper
million
towels.
paper towels. I hate
trying to, you know,
Well,
that is so easy
When
to
I-
just reach up
if
and
I'm
wipe on
doing
your
stuff in the kitchen
shoulder.
or when I'm grilling, I do that. I've got a,
Yeah, I can
I've
go
got a
with
I
towel.
was gonna say, I have it in my pants.
Hook,
I've got
yeah,
it
hook,
in
and hanging like that.
Yeah, going like
I'm
this.
always cleaning my hands on the grill.
I'm guilty of the paper towel.
I
I'm
do,
just
and,
gonna
I
house it.
Me
hate
too.
using so many paper
Yeah.
towels.
I do too,
But I started, after I saw that tip, I was like, I'm gonna do that, and it is so convenient, and then I don't have any waste of paper towels.
And you look cool, like you know what you're doing too.
Okay, let me show you. So I just get a cup, right? Because even if you hold this in your
I
hand,
think your flowers in the way.
You say, can you see? I can't tell.
okay, can you see what I'm doing? Okay. So even if you hold it in your hand, it's really hard to manipulate this and be scooping stuff in. So this is a small bag, okay? So I'm just gonna ice maybe the top of the cake. So I do this, okay? Now, push that down. Now you've got a wide open bag, okay, that you can fill like crazy. You've got both your hands, okay? Now, I'm gonna do the zip tie thing, the Ziploc thing, okay? And at the very bottom, I'm gonna push everything down. And at the very bottom, I'm gonna snip however big I want that hole to be. And the same thing with, if you got a big bag, okay, use a big cup, okay? And then do the same thing, open it up, because I'm telling you, it's really hard to manipulate whatever you're filling, even if it's like egg salad and you gotta put it on your deviled eggs, okay? You're gonna use a piping bag for that. Just put it in the cup, okay? Can you guys see that? I don't know if you can see that. Push it down, okay? Now you've got this wide open space to fill all that up, okay? You pull it out, you get everything where you need it to pipe, you close that up, try to get all the air out, okay? And then snip your corner, and then you're gonna pipe.
That's especially helpful when you're doing double colors that you can set side by side, because then you've got a wider space, and then the colors don't blend.
Sauce, 'cause I hate to make sauce.
Oh, this is an easy way to pour it in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because usually
Same,
while
right,
I'm
same
pouring it in, the
It's
bag
all over,
collapses.
because you can't hold the bag and pour in sauce or whatever.
That's a good
So
idea.
you just drape it over the cup,
What a good idea.
okay? And now look at the hole you've got to pour stuff in,
Yeah,
or do the
because
icing, whatever.
That would be perfect for me because I don't have that much left. But usually
Yeah.
while I'm pouring, the bag collapses.
But you've got to get
Yeah.
good bags.
Good bags.
Oh, I do.
I'm telling you, if you use anything but like the name brand and something like this, it's just gonna come
So
right.
Tammy says, how about wearing a waitress apron
I
for
learned
those
something
of us former
today.
servers gotta have pockets when cooking?
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely, Tammy, that's good to have pockets.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing, because like when we were at Harris, we always had aprons on and we had like temperature, our little thermometers and all that stuff on us
Yeah.
and stuff, so that we could constantly be, and of course it's the thermometer that goes back into like the little case. You don't just put a thermometer in a thing you're wearing. It's got to have a little case.
Yeah.
And
I
so
have
you have
several.
those utensils on you. But if you don't have an apron in the kitchen, just have your stuff out. Just have it
Yeah,
out.
don't
Like-
reach through your
like
drawer
what?
after you just
Know
touched
what
raw
you're
chicken.
doing, know what
Yeah,
you're
need
cooking,
that
know
one.
what you're going to need, and just put it out, because it's a real pain in the neck. Let's say you are frying your chicken and you realize you didn't get tongs.
Yeah.
Now your chicken's cooking and it's like, oh, I gotta get it out, and now you're looking.
And you got your chicken.
And now
in
your chicken's
hands.
burning. So have your tools, whatever you're using, have them out.
And that's especially true in baking as well. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do that when I'm baking. I get all my ingredients in order, and I'll put them in order of what I need, and then make sure I have every spoon and cup that it asks for ready to go.
Yes.
So that you're not scrambling. Because in baking especially, even if you let certain ingredients sit for too long, they'll start to change.
Yes.
So that's really important in baking.
And always have, in baking, pot holders or something, because when that's ready, it's ready.
Yeah.
And the longer, then you gotta go scrambling around, how am I gonna get this out of the oven? I don't have a towel, I don't have this, I don't have that. You're running around and the thing's bubbling, getting browner. Just that's another tool. Just have it ready to go, because it saves you time, it saves your food. It saves your food, seriously, have your tools ready to go. When you work in industrial restaurants or wherever, I mean, everything's right there. You have everything you need, and you just take what you need. Sometimes at home, you can get a little lax on that. You don't really prepare that way, but you really need to, because the bottom line is the product, your food is going to be way better prepared if you have everything that you need.
Well, I always, when I move into a new house and I'm setting up my kitchen, I always kind of picture, okay, here's the stove, where should I put this and this and this and this, because I'm kind of OCD.
Right.
And I don't want to go looking for stuff, when things are
My stuff
happening.
has to be
I
like,
I have a certain
my
place
knives
for
are here, my
things,
utensils
so
are
that
here.
I know where everything is and I can grab it, because
I need a magnet for my knives.
Okay, so here's
they have them
speaking of that, what you're talking about is like, Chris is very helpful in the kitchen and everything. Sometimes when he puts stuff away, like he puts it in a place that I don't know it's there. Now I'm looking. I mean, not just you. This is like any home. You put stuff away. Like for me, here's something that people don't think about. But with Meniere's disease, I can't look up. Okay, so when I put my garlic salt that I use for everything that I cook, when I put it away, I open my cabinet and it goes boom right here. Well, when he puts it away, he just puts it somewhere. And now I go like this. And I can't look up to find, and it just makes, that's one of the things that, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. That, in your kitchen, you should know where everything is. You should, and it makes it very convenient. Okay, moving on. People that are that have a gluten allergy, okay? So some alternatives that you can use if you're going to be doing breading. Like you're gonna bread, I don't know, what do you bread? Chicken cutlets. You're gonna meatloaf, fish. You're gonna, you have to make a meatloaf with stuff, with bread, or stuffing. So alternatives for people that are gluten-free: use rice cereal. Okay, and most of the time in the rice cereal, they'll tell you right on the box, gluten-free. Okay, you can also use pretzels. If you crush pretzels, now that to me is going to make it a little salty, but you can get unsalted pretzels too. You can get unsalted pretzels and crush them or put them in a food processor or whatever. You can use pretzels, and you can also use, if you have gluten-free bread, toast it, put it in the oven, toast it up, and then blend it, or food processor. Now you've got breading. Okay? Now you've got breading that you can use, okay? And then however you want to fix it up, you can. But those are alternatives for people that are gluten-free. And gluten is a big thing right now because that we know more about gluten and what it does, and celiac disease and all this stuff. And so, for people that need those things, they still want to put something in their meatloaf. Otherwise, it's not meatloaf; it's ground beef. Or ground turkey. It's not meatloaf without all the breading and stuff like that. These are ways to do that. Now, two more things for me. If you crack an egg and one of the pieces of eggshell fall in the egg, what's the easiest way to get it out? You can fish for that eggshell all day long and it ain't coming out. But if you take the egg, that's disgusting. You said through a straw.
Oh.
Okay, anyway, the easiest one, who crashed? The easiest way to remove that eggshell is with the eggshell. Okay, because there's this natural thing that happens. The eggshell migrates to the shell. To the shell. So if you put the other half of the eggshell in, that piece of eggshell will go right back. It's kind of sad.
So,
Yeah, it's like the
Sean keeps asking me when the chickens are gonna hatch.
It's like E.T. going to the mothership.
So go to your hole.
So so the eggshell will take it right out. The other thing that I'm going to tell you is, my first thing was clean as you go. My other suggestion is taste as you go. Because you don't want to guess how it's going to be at the end when you're serving. Okay? Taste it and don't double dip with your spoon. I don't care if it's your family or not. Just have some spoons ready and taste. And don't over salt, over pepper, over anything. You can always add, you can't take out. So be really careful with that. Okay, those are my suggestions. Who's that?
Well, you talked about removing shells
Yeah.
from your eggs.
Yeah.
Emily taught me this.
How do you remove yolks from your whites?
I kind of know that.
Yeah, so there's different methods,
You
obviously.
just use the shells.
Well, I do.
Well, you can
Shell.
use the shells back and forth,
Yeah.
but sometimes, especially if you're making a white cake, that little bit of yolk that falls in,
Change the
it's
whole
gonna change
thing.
everything about the
You're
flavor.
welcome, Vivian.
everything.
Thank you.
And so, one, you can use a water bottle. I'm sure you've all seen the water bottle trick on YouTube and stuff.
Yep.
You take an empty water bottle and you squeeze it, and then you put it down on the yolk and you let it go, and it sucks it into the
Sucks
bottle.
the yolk right up.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it's not You take a water bottle.
An empty water
A
bottle.
little
A clean, empty water bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you squeeze it and put it on top of the yolk, down in the bowl, and release, and it
And it
sucks
sucks
it
the
in.
egg, like, I would
Perfectly.
use this part and squeeze. Oh, what did you say?
I know the chocolate.
Smell the chocolate. So Mom, here's the egg with the yolk. And you take the water bottle, you squeeze it, and not with obviously
I'm
not
gonna
water.
have to try it.
And then when you let go of it, the egg yolk goes up into the.
I would say once again, use a straw.
Disgusting.
But,
Really?
yeah, and the benefit
Yeah.
the other benefit to that is then you can also save then the yolks if you need them for something else.
Right.
You've got them in the bottle, and then you can just.
Does it break it? No.
No,
No,
it keeps
it's
them
intact.
completely whole.
I almost want
Now, you're gonna put that bottle over that fat yolk.
Somebody needs to show me.
I'll get here.
I was say, let's do
I'm
it.
gonna demonstrate.
Can
Can
I
I
waste
waste
an
an egg?
Yes, go ahead.
I
You're gonna waste an egg and a bottle of water.
And a bottle of water.
Just
Pour it in something.
In the meantime, you guys do your suggestions because we're running over time here, but that's okay because I think they've got a lot of information.
We did a lot of stuff in between.
Yeah.
Like, we all had our, like, suggestions.
So, okay, for me,
Candy bar.
I always have like potatoes, I always have pasta, I always have rice, and I always have
Staples.
eggs in the house. Because, I mean, just, you know, we have different things all the time, and I don't want to eat rice every single day, and I don't want to eat pasta every single day, so I always have those things readily available in my house, because I may change my mind at the last
Right.
minute of, I don't want to do this, let's do this. So I
Right.
always have that. And then I have brown sugar in my house a lot, but I don't use a lot of it, and especially now. So it gets hard.
You can, what?
I'll just
You
down
can
the
have
bottle
to do it in the camera.
Yeah,
so
just
you
make
can
a bottle of water real quick.
Or just pour it in a cup. Here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Turn it up.
So the brown sugar gets hard in my fridge because I don't use it very often.
Not mine. I'm gonna drink it
So
from
I'll
it.
either put it in a container that I can close with a slice of bread to keep it moist and not
Yes.
hard. Or if you're in a pinch and you need it right now for something, you can get some, put it in a bowl, put a damp paper towel over it, throw it in the microwave for 30 seconds, and it's moist.
Yeah.
What were you talking, what
Brown sugar.
Brown
Yeah, it
sugar.
gets- It gets hard like a
Oh,
rock.
like a rock.
But there's something else, if you've made cookies or if you get cookies that are really hard and crunchy and you don't want them that way if they're kind of stale, you put them in a nice big Ziploc bag with a couple pieces of bread and the bread absorbs
Now this I want.
whatever from the cookies and the next day they're nice and soft. Okay.
Okay.
Let me make sure we're getting this on the camera.
Yeah.
Get them.
Yeah, bring it.
Tammy said another great science experiment, and then Vivian said, I don't think I'll try the straw. No.
Sweet.
That is not fake.
Slow down.
That worked perfectly.
Be done.
Right in
There you go. You got egg whites, you got egg yolk.
Yep.
Perfect.
And now you just take that, you can squeeze it in another little bowl, and then you've got bowl. Oh, there you go.
That was totally unplanned, but
I
perfect.
can't believe I
He
saw
said,
that.
"Oh."
I can't believe you did that. What? Tell me the bottom. What did you do?
And then when you let it go, it just sucks it up.
Pay for that, yo.
I'll be- I wouldn't have believed it. If I didn't see it, I wouldn't have believed it.
I'm telling you. Kitchen suggestions and tips.
I have one. Okay. So at work, a lot of times, every time, we had breaks in between shows, and so a lot of us bring our own meals. And a friend of mine from work, he always would bring certain meals in like butter tubs that they use
Yeah.
all the way up. And he was like, we've got kids. We can't be going out and buying a bunch of Tupperware and stuff.
It gets thrown away.
And when you become a parent, you just always try to find ways to kind of save money. And you've got tons of things in your fridge or your cabinets that are tubs that when they're empty, you can wash them out and use them as
I
Tupperware.
use the containers you get at the store for cold cuts.
Yeah.
They have like the plastic.
Oh,
They're perfect.
yeah.
They work this-
You can,
Oh, yeah,
another
yeah, yeah.
hack that I found the
Yeah, 'cause
other
they
day,
have
real
lids,
quick,
yeah.
I want everybody to give me at least one suggestion, but,
I got a good one.
okay. If you take a mason jar with a wide top, not the little ones, because I've got the little ones with like a smaller top, but the wide mason jars, I always have 10,000 muffin paper cups, the little, you
Yeah,
put in a
paper.
muffin pan and then you put the papers.
Oh, yeah.
So you can stack them, and you can put a lid, and you can have all the colors you want, and you put them in a mason jar. And I thought, how simple is that? I'm always looking, I have to take everything out of my baking cabinet to find my cups, my little paper cups. And then I thought, you just get a mason jar with a top, the wide lid, and they stack up perfectly, and you can fit a ton of those little cups in there, and then you keep them clean because it's got a lid. Perfect.
Okay, Carol Boyer just said, okay, put the snack plate in the microwave for 50 seconds and you have a poached egg.
Try it.
What?
You're
Did you throw him out?
50 seconds.
For 50 seconds.
50 seconds
For
in the
50
microwave.
seconds, you got a poached egg.
A little salt and pepper.
All right, who else has got a poached egg?
Mom.
Okay, you want to go?
No.
Well, I'm very bad at burning stuff. So sometimes you burn your fry pan so bad that you have to either scrape it or you have to do a lot to it. I've got an easy way. I learned this from someone else. You take your frying pan, you put a dryer sheet. You put a dryer sheet.
Oh, yeah.
And you sit it in there, and you pour a little bit of water, not a lot of water, just to cover the sheet. Leave it overnight, and every single burn.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Like this, it comes
And
right
it
off.
doesn't matter if it's like a
No.
scented or
No, it doesn't matter, because you're gonna wash the pan anyway.
Yeah.
It comes right off.
Oh! You poached egg.
Well, that didn't work.
Did you guys hear that?
But it worked.
The yolk,
It blew up.
like, totally blew up.
Well, actually,
What do you need?
Like your microwave is the best.
What do you
Bright idea was that,
it blew
You
up.
just gave Chris a lot of work to do, Carol.
Carol, come clean my microwave.
Oh, my, you got a good
Well, it
family.
did cook, let me see that. Maybe not 50
Maybe not
seconds.
50 seconds.
Well, 15.
That's hysterical.
No, I mean, it is.
Well, I mean, it could be.
Sure about what Jeffy said about
But-
the
Totally blown up in your microwave. My house smells like rotten eggs. They're like really exploded, I'm scared. Okay, who else
Yes,
has it?
but
We gotta go.
you gotta
We've
put
been
it
here
in.
a long
I
time.
just want, you could do it with any pot, it doesn't have to be a frying pan. Sometimes I forget my vegetable,
Oh, yep.
and there's all little corn stuck. You do, you do the same thing.
Ha, she said, oops, gotta poke a hole in the yolk.
Well, that's a helpful tip. That was a good
Helpful tip. We all just
Something
have
you
our
might have
tip.
told us before.
It's during the day, tell it before. Before the experiment.
Oh my God.
Exploded.
Kitchen tips, tricks, and fails. Okay. Which we're gonna do at some point. Okay, who else has a suggestion? We gotta go. We got about 5 minutes. We're good.
I'm good. Yeah,
Everybody?
I gave a bunch of tips.
Okay, well, we hope you guys have learned stuff today from us, and I'm sure that you've got all kinds of suggestions and tips that you use in your kitchen. We actually had some people, like Carol, tell us about stuff. We just need to poke a hole in the yolk next time, which we'll do. You can poach an egg in a microwave. Okay. So next week, remember that the first and third weeks, the first and third Wednesday of every month, we're going to do my regular cooking show, okay? Fed Up, Fast, Easy, Delicious, and we're going to cook a meal. And then the second and the fourth, we're going to be doing this. Now, the rest of them probably won't take this long, only because this time we introduced everybody and all that stuff. That took a little time. We'll just go straight to whatever the topic is. So, on February 3rd, which is my regular Cooking Nook show, I am making sheet pan quesadillas. They're going to be delicious, okay? Where you literally take a sheet pan, about an inch wide sheet pan, you put tortillas all over it, and you just fill that baby up with all kinds of stuff, and then you flap everything over, you weight it down, and you cook it, and you've got crispy, nice, big, fat quesadillas. Okay, and then we're going to make homemade salsa, and Emily or somebody's going to make homemade guacamole for that show. And then
I have a very easy guacamole recipe.
okay, actually we can have different guacamoles. If everybody, you can make two different guacamoles. And then on the 10th, which is our next,
do the Battle of Guac.
yeah, yes you can. And then we're going to do on our talks and treats, which the next one is February 10th. That's right before Valentine's Day, so I'm going to be doing a strawberry bread, and then I'm going to be making chocolate Oreo lollipops.
All the things
For
that I can't have.
all the kids. I'll try to come up with a diabetic thing for you. And the topic on the 10th is COVID and cooking and how life has changed. Okay? So, that's going to be very intense. So, okay. So, you guys, listen. A bunch of you joined us today. Chris will put this on YouTube tonight. Check us out. Always like and subscribe. Okay, please like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 viewers on YouTube so that I can put out cookbook number 2. And why don't you buy cookbook number 1 while we're talking about it?
We'll all sign it.
Oh! And because they all have recipes in
No
it.
one wants my signature in that.
They all have at least one recipe in the book with mine. And so, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of good information. As a matter of fact, a lot of the information that I'm going to be giving you in these shows are right out of my cookbook. So, anyway, we love you guys. We thank you for joining us today. Please let us know if you like this format or not. We're going to try it for 6 months. At the end of 6 months, if you're not liking this part of it, we'll figure out what we're going to do. For right now, this is going to be the format. You guys take care out there. Stay safe.
Ask questions.
God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.